So now I would just like to welcome Ambassador Phil Wilcox, who's the head of the Foundation for Middle East Peace, who will be introducing Dr. Ashrawi. Thank you.
This is a special occasion to welcome back Hanan, and welcome also to His Excellency Man Erekat, the PLO ambassador to the United States. Hanan is perhaps the best known and most respected Palestinian leader in the United States. And during this long and troubled saga, the search for Palestinian sovereignty and peace, her eloquent, clear voice has been heard around the world. Indeed, many people have regarded Hanan as the voice of Palestine. And no one, indeed, has made the case more brilliantly than she has, or won more support for the Palestinian cause. I was privileged to know Hanan when I was the Consul General in Jerusalem, where she was a key figure, along with the late and much mourned Faisal Husseini, in a long and tough series of negotiations with Secretary of State Jim Baker. That brought a real change in the thinking of the U.S. government. For the first time, an American Secretary of State engaged in long, tough but compelling discussions, negotiations with the Palestinian leadership in the occupied territories. And I think it had a profound effect on Secretary Baker. That process led to the Madrid Peace Conference in 1991, where Hanan Ashrawi was the spokesperson, and her voice was heard around the world. That led again to the Oslo process. Hanan is an elected member of the Palestinian Legislative Council. Alas, it is now not active. Together with her colleague Salam Fayyad. In the 90s, she was the Palestinian Minister for Higher Education and Research. She's devoted a lot of her time in recent years to a new and important NGO known as Miftah. You can see it on the website at miftah.org, M-I-F-T-A-H, the Palestinian Initiative for the Promotion of Global Dialogue and Democracy. She has received awards, honorary degrees, too numerous to mention, and I'm proud to say that Hanan was one of 10 distinguished peacemakers who received an award from the Foundation for Middle East Peace back in the 1990s. Her latest book, This Side of Peace, appeared in 2005. Or is there a more recent one? 95. So, Hanan, we're just so delighted to have you here, and welcome, anxious to hear your thoughts.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Phil. Thank you for your warm introduction and your warm reception. As I said when I walked in, this feels like a reunion of old friends. There are so many familiar faces. I'm happy to be here. And of course, whenever I see Phil, I remember a very significant period in our history. And of course, he mentioned the late Faisal Husseini, and we do remember him and miss him. Actually, we remember him fondly. He was a unique type of leader who was motivated by a real sense of dedication and service, with integrity, with a sense of values and honor, and his early demise certainly left a vacuum. Enough of that. I was hoping, since he said it'll be a small sort of intimate group, that we will be carrying out more of a discussion and a mutual exploration rather than a talk or a lecture. But let me open the discussion, and I hope to hear from you as well, whether your questions or your comments, by perhaps presenting a few ideas immediately, so that we can lay the foundation. And if you feel that I've been going on and robbing you of your chance to be heard yourselves or to ask questions yourselves, please let me know. Give me a sign. I have a tendency to lecture, and I will try not to do that today. To begin with, in the next 2-3 weeks, I guess in less than 3 weeks, it will be the first-year anniversary of the famous Obama speech in Cairo, right? In which he signaled, not just to the Palestinians, but to the Arab world, to the Islamic world, to the whole world, that this is a new era, that the last 8 years of American disastrous policies are coming to an end, and that probably something new will happen. Something new that is based on multilateralism, not unilateralism, that is based on peacemaking rather than waging wars in the name of, the war against terrorism and so on. Replacing the strategic doctrine of preemptive strikes with a strategic doctrine of dialogue and so on. And recognition and accommodation of others, and at the same time different cultures, and placing the Palestinian question and peacemaking in the Middle East as a top priority. Right? You all remember that speech with a sense of urgency, a first-time president who has the courage to say we will make peace and it's our priority and we will take concrete steps. So we waited for these concrete steps. Of course, the appointment of George Mitchell was a concrete step. It was important, and we felt, now we're moving. And then the train didn't take off. Almost a whole year has gone, and the Israeli government in Israel, one of the most hardline extremist governments it's a very lethal combination in the history of Israel, with Barak representing the military, Netanyahu representing the extreme right-wing political faction of the Likud, with Lieberman representing the racist Israel Beitenu, with again Shas representing the ideological component. This combination is certainly, to put it mildly, not conducive to peace or to mutual trust or any kind of accommodation. And we saw, while Mitchell was trying to launch some sort of, good to see you, some sort of new momentum and peace initiative and mediation and so on, we ended up with conditions on the ground deteriorating, and deteriorating in very serious ways, because the Netanyahu government decided to escalate settlement activities, particularly in and around Jerusalem, decided to maintain and tighten the siege of Gaza, maintained the checkpoints in the West Bank, the fragmentation of the West Bank, carried out incursions and so on. And of course the wall is ongoing. And more erosion took place in the public sense of what can be done and what should be done, in that the U.S. was seen to be helpless before Israeli violations and Israeli unilateral actions.